Welcome back to another video. So today we've got a bit of a comparison video for you. Nothing too detailed, but just something I thought I'd do. Here I have two SIG 229s. You've seen on my channel I had the SIG 226 TM, which, yeah, was great. No problems with it. Not actually a big fan of the 226 platform myself, though. I prefer the subcompact 229 personally. So I've got these two. I had this is the WE and this is the KJ Works. I've had the WE for a while now, and I recently got the KJ Works. The reason why I got it was because it has all the laser engraved trades on here, which is nice. But now I've got them both together, I thought it'd be worth doing a quick comparison between the two so you can see the differences. The WE is generally considered as the better of the two, but I must say the KJ still seems like a really good option. And as far as I'm aware, a lot of the parts are interchangeable. So if we look at magazines, here we have our KJ magazine, here we have our WE magazine. They look basically identical, to the point where you can see it works no problem. KJ magazine works the same. KJ magazine in the WE works no problem. So you can see, you know, to a certain degree, magazines are interchangeable, but I thought it'd be good to have a look at and see what parts are different between the WE and the KJ Works, and just general fit and finish. So first things first then, the overall look. Now, my 229 has got a set of stipple grips, so just disregard those. Whereas the KJ, this one is a fully licensed one, like I said. It's SIG Arms. That has the 229 SIG Sauer grips, which is nice. I've been half tempted to swap these onto here, but, you know, maybe I'll do it one day, maybe I won't. Now, differences between the two then. So we've already had a look at magazines, so we'll get the magazines out for now. They are, again, basically identical. The cutouts are the same, the router's the same, the feed lips are the same. For all intents and purposes, these are interchangeable. Externally, we can see we've got two different finishes on these two pistols. The KJ is a sort of more of a thick painted finish, and overall has, you know, a sort of shiny look. The laser engravings are a little on the shallow side, but they're there, which is nice. Yeah, overall wear, you know, it wears quite nicely, this pistol. My only criticism would be is that the colour does match between the upper and lower, which generally on SIG pistols, because they have a steel slide and alloy frame on the real steel, that doesn't tend to match. Whereas if we look at the WE, it is clearly different. They've mimicked that. You can see we've got the black frame and the slightly grey finished slide here. You can see the difference between the two here and the barrel. So that's kind of nice that they went down the route of mimicking that. Strangely, the WE does have like a polished top. I don't know whether that's just my one or whether all of them come with that. You can see it's very similar in that respect. We can see the sights are a bit different. The sights on the KJ are very similar to the TM, whereas on the WE they are a little different. If we cock the slide on both, we can see in the end here, the WE, we have a fake, sort of a mimicking a striker, which the KJ does not have. And recoil springs, the KJ, quite soft, the WE, definitely a lot snappier. Trigger feel, it's a SIG trigger. They're not very good. I would say the KJ has a marginally better trigger there. We've got a little bit of play before you reach a wall of some description. Squeeze through, and then the trigger will fall. A lot of mush though. Whereas the WE, a lot of nothing, and then the hammer goes. So other markings on the WE, you've got 9mm para in the port, which we don't have on the KJ, as you can see. So let's have a quick look at the internals then. So to strip down the 229 or any SIG pistol of this type, rack the slide back, rotate the takedown lever around. Sometimes you need to have the slide forwards a little bit to do that. Release the slide like so. Same on this one. Okay. So let's have a quick look at the uppers then, shall we? See what the differences are. Let's get rid of the lowers. So here's the uppers. We can see that they look remarkably similar. Straight away we can see here we definitely do have more coils on our recoil spring than the KJ. It's definitely a lot softer. Probably mimics the softness of a like a TM or something like that. Actual thicknesses of the slide, the KJ is definitely a bit thicker on the wall here, whereas the WE is definitely a lot thinner. I would say weight-wise, KJ is definitely heavier than the WE. Now the KJ, I'm not sure if this is stock or not, but it appears to have a different nozzle in here than what the WE has. I would say it looks like an upgraded nozzle, and we do have a different piston head on this one. So we've got an Armour Work style piston head, whereas the WE just has your standard WE piston head there. You can see what I mean about the sort of block on the back here with a faux firing pin. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether that is stock or not. I think it could be aftermarket, but it has the cutouts for it, so it's possible that that is stock. So not quite sure if that is or not. I did get this new, I think, though, so I don't think I've added that in, so I believe that is normal WE. So we'll take the recoil spring out. So we can see the recoil spring is longer on the KJ, but definitely a lot thinner gauge. A lot easier to squish down, whereas the WE is definitely a lot tighter. These two, basically identical, probably from either the same casting or something similar. So yeah, no differences there. Outer barrels and inner barrels and hop units. We can see some slight differences here now. Both the WE and the KJ do have that block, which is sort of mimicking what TM do. The WE is slightly larger though, which is pushing the outer barrel higher up to sit higher up in the chamber, which is sort of, you can see here, there's a smaller gap than there is on this one here. And again, I think that's really just to sort of improve the look. So you have the outer barrel a little bit higher. There are also a few little notches on the hop unit here on both sides. You can see the little lugs put in there. And again, I think that's just to stop wobble, so you're getting better consistency. Otherwise, hop units look basically identical. Notice mine has got a fractured off piece there. Doesn't really affect the use though. But other than that, essentially very similar. The WE's got a slightly larger and easier to use hop adjuster, whereas the KJ is quite small and quite difficult to get hold of, whereas the W is a lot larger and able to move. So that's those two. So again, looking on the inside of the slides, you can definitely feel the extra weight from the KJ one here. Other than that, they look remarkably similar inside. The KJ blowback unit does have a screw missing. I suspect it's probably sheared off. It is moving around a little bit in here, so I'll just need to tighten that up a bit, whereas the WE is obviously fixed in nice and tight. We can also see on the side here, again, you can see the difference in finish between the two. So let's have a quick look at the lowers then, see any differences there. So again, very similar. This is very similar to the TM system. We can see some slight changes between this being the WE. I'll swap these around to keep it consistent. WE and the KJ. There's a slight change here with the sort of trigger mechanism and how it locks the front barrel in place, which the KJ does not have. Trigger bar looks pretty much the same. Not a lot of differences there. The slide catch is a little different. We can see on the KJ, it has the rising block, which actually that engages with the front of the sort of slide and blowback unit, whereas on the WE it's actually catching on the piece inside the slide. So you can see the difference between the two there. The WE has this bit chamfered off, so it is actually acting as the real steel pistol does, whereas the KJ uses the TM system where it's resting on the inside of the slide rather than the catch engaging there. We can see we've both got these two little screws at the front, which is just to engage and lock the front chassis in place. Rails look pretty much the same. We can see the WE definitely has deeper cuts on the front here than the KJ, just a light cut, and you can see the rails are a lot thicker on the front there than the WE. We can see overall the rails are thicker on the KJ. And again, the KJ lower definitely feels heavier than the WE. Rear section here, valve locker, all seems to be the same. Trigger looks the same. Hammer looks the same. So I'd imagine these are probably done off similar molds. You can see that the mag catch is slightly different between the two models. This one sort of some cross hatching, whereas this one, you know, the serrations. The WE controls definitely look higher quality. These grooves are cut much nicer, and the checkering is really nice there as well. Whereas the KJ is definitely a bit more rounded. We can also see the decocker sitting slightly lower than the WE. WE is definitely sitting up a little bit higher, but functionality is still working great. You can see that drops down no problem. And then hammer, I would say the spring is definitely heavier on the WE than it is on the KJ. Other than that, internally, there's not a lot of differences. You can see that the WE has this section just blunted off, whereas on the KJ, there's a little step there. And again, that's just to sort of, you know, change mag compatibility. The valve knocker itself is about the same. I think the WE one looks like it protrudes out slightly further than the KJ, but other than that, basically the same. So there's the differences. There's not really a lot in it. They're pretty much the same pistol inside. So we're gonna get these back together and we do a little bit of testing. Okay, so we've got these two together. So just the feel between the two then. Like I say, the KJ definitely feels heavier and, you know, it rattles a bit. The WE definitely feels a bit lighter. Definitely a lot crisper. A little bit of rattle, but nothing like the KJ. And I must say, you know, moving the slide around, it does move around quite a lot. WE, virtually no wobble at all. So basically tighter tolerances on the WE. We can see on the KJ, we've just got a standard type outer barrel, whereas on the WE, it's internally threaded. So you could put a thread adapter in there if you wanted to. Just a bit of dry firing. So mag in, we're going to use the same mag between the two. Almost out of gas. Let's whack some more gas in there. Just holding this down. Really crisp and nice cycle in that. Try the KJ. So works just as well, definitely doesn't have the same kick that you feel from the WE. I'd suspect the WE maybe's got a slightly larger nozzle, and we can also see the outer barrel here does not sit as high as it does on the WE here, which is, this is how the real steel is supposed to be, whereas the KJ, you can see it's a lot lower down. The TM is the same actually. It does sit a bit lower down, whereas the WE is a lot higher, which sort of mimics the real steel. So we've just tried dry firing there. So let's try the FPS out, see what we get performance-wise. Okay, so I've got the WE magazine here. The reason I'm going to use the WE, we're going to try them both actually. We'll try the WE first, then we're going to try the KJ mag in both. So WE mag, I've filled with standard green gas. We've got 6 rounds in here. Just 0.20s, see what FPS we get. 253.8. 251.9, 247.9, 246.0, 244.0, 240. So 0.5 to 0.6 joules. So we'll quickly regas this and we'll try this in the WE this time. So I've regassed 6 rounds in the WE mag going in the WE this time. .279.4, 274.5, 274.5, 271.9, 271.9, 271.9. Really consistent. And we're pushing 0.68 joules. So far more consistency from the WE. We'll try the JK mag, KJ Works mag anyway, and see if that improves the consistency on the KJ Works. I suspect though it's not going to make no difference. I'm just going to stick a couple of rounds in it, see what we get. Make sure it's gassed. Yep. Okay, give it a fair shot. Okay, 260.4, we lost a BB there. Yeah, about the same. So definitely higher FPS from the WE and definitely better consistency. They were tailing off on the KJ. Bear in mind we used the same mag, so should be no difference between the two. WE definitely more consistent, higher FPS, sort of 0.7 joule, whereas this was hovering around the sort of 0.5, 0.6 joule. So you can sort of see the difference between the two. We've got just better materials and overall better fit and finish. But you've got to remember the KJ is an older design. Again, you can see the play from the slide there. It's an older design, but still, I think, you know, a nice addition to a collection, especially that it's all trademarked. That's the one thing I would say with the WE. We've got no trademarks at all, but you know, the fit and finish, it does feel and operate really slick. So, given the choice between the two, what would I have? I'd probably go with the WE. It's really nice to have the KJ with all the trademarks, but definitely overall look and finish, this is definitely a better bet in my opinion. And it's a slightly newer and improved system as well. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.